Hi everybody, it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, and today I am going to show you how to make a floating card, ombre look. I love it. I think it looks so pretty. All right, so stay with me and I'll show you how to make this. Okay, first off, we're going to do some stenciling. Now, I used this once before for a card last week, but I thought I'd show you other ways to use this because it's such a pretty flower. Now, normally I use, oh, thank you. Tanya did them this weekend. I don't usually have polish on, but I don't usually have nails. I have chemo nails. So normally I use Distress Oxide inks, but I'm using Pinkfresh. And I'm using Grassy Knoll. And then the darker value is Key Lime. All right, so we'll do this in the Grassy Knoll. Oops. I was at the cottage this morning picking up some things and dropping things off. I dropped off the kits for the virtual, but the Pinkfresh stuff hasn't arrived. Hi, Shell. So we're waiting for that. Otherwise, we're good to go. So now I'm using this one. I'm going to use the darker value. But if we have to push it back, that's okay because it is a virtual. I'm just using the same brush. So this one is called Grassy Knoll, and it's a little darker. So there's that. And then I'm going to use my blue. And I have two blues. The first blue is the lighter value. There we go. And this one is called Seaside. Hi, Maureen. Oh, you were there this morning too. I love blue. Blue is one of my favorite colors. If you came into my house, you would see that. So there's that one. That one was called Seaside. Yes, Maureen, I picked up your order and I will get that to you probably tomorrow. I have to go out and run a few more errands. I can only do so many stops and I get tired, so. Hi, Gail. Did everybody have a nice long weekend? I had a very relaxing at the lake. Tanya wouldn't let me do a thing, so I did nothing. It even snowed there, like melted, like it just hit the ground and melted, but still it snowed. And Zayden went swimming. if you can believe it. This one is called Storm. So I use Storm and Seaside. Okay. Alrighty. So I've got my, so this is all done. Yeah, it was really cold, but I napped a lot. Played lots of games with Zayden. So now this will be cut out using the die. All right, now what we're going to do is I'm going to take another piece of paper, and on this you can see I've done these 1/4 inch strips, okay, to make a floating front. You can see that I've got foam strips under there. So I'm going to show you how to create this. So what I did was I took my inks, all right, and I took my inks and just right with the pad, and I went across my paper. Because I wanted that ombre look, I didn't have paper that wouldn't provide the colors I wanted. So I used the ink. I'm past Kenora, so there was no forest fires. I'm at Hilly Lake, and it's about 12 minutes east of Kenora. All right, so now we're doing all blues. So I've got my dark value, and then I've got this one. This one is the Seaside. And then I'm going to come in with Summer Shower. So I'm just direct to the paper. There we go. And then the 4th one is called Sky Blue. And it's the lightest value. Okay. So there we have the 4 blue colors. So now what I'm going to do, let's move these out of the way. So there we have it. Let's put that up there. And I'm going to take a piece of vellum as well. Okay, so now I'm taking this and my cutter, and I'm cutting quarter-inch strips. All right, so I'm going to cut quarter-inch strips. So I cut 4 of the navy. And then I'm going going to cut 3 of the royal blue. Or what's that called? Seaside. Storm Seaside. And then this one is called Summer Shower. So you cut 3 of those. So this is just an easy way of getting all the colors that you want. And then I'm going to cut 3 of these. There we go. All right. Okay. Now what you do is you take the darkest strip, which is here, and you put adhesive on it. Yeah, when we drove through the white shell to the entrance of Falcon Lake, you couldn't smell or see any smoke, nothing. So I'm going to put this on here and then take another one. And I'm going to leave about a 1/16 of an inch in between them. All right. I think I did 4. Probably just need the 3 and then 3 of the others. So notice I'm leaving about a 1/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to do this one. This one is called Seaside. Inking them is so much easier than trying to coordinate my papers because I just don't have all the colors that I wanted. So again, leaving that 1/16 of an inch. Okay. And then the next one is Summer Shower. Leaving the... So you could do this with any ink colors, and it's so convenient with the Pinkfresh because they come in groups of 4 and they coordinate. And then the last one is Sky Blue. Okay. This one's a little crooked. I'll put that one last. Because it won't matter if this one's crooked. Because it'll just be out the top. So there's our ombre look. Isn't that nice? All right. So these are my new favorite dies, as you know. So I have cut I have used one to cut this large circle. So I used the largest one for that one. And then I used the third one from the outside for the ombre look. All right. So this is going to go onto here, like so, and cut it out. All right? Okay. So these are called the double stitched elongated oval, and I've used them many times already, and will probably continue to use them because I think they're wonderful. All right, and you get 6, 7 of them. All right, so they're called double stitched elongated oval. Pardon me. All right, I'm going to put a blue backing on my card here. And this is the full size. Well, maybe it isn't the full size of the card. See if I've got another piece. I wanted it the full size. Okay, I want this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. There we go. Now, sometimes the paper rolls onto my tape, which I don't want it to do. So I think if you just do little ones, it tears the paper. Weird. Doesn't happen very often. So this is the same size as the card front. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I didn't have a piece big enough, or else I just would have done the whole card that size. But I didn't have any other blue. Okay. And then I'm going to put this one on. And this is the largest double stitched oval. There we go. And then I'm going to put this on, but I'm going to put strips of my foam tape on it. Okay, and I'm going to do every one. If you do every second one, it doesn't, it kind of sags. So I think if you do every one, it's better. And these are the 1/8 inch foam strips, which I love. and they fit quite nicely on here. So I'm just attaching it to the vellum back. Now I've made these before and I've used acetate, but I did not use acetate this time because my Big Shot will not die cut acetate. So, and I needed to die cut this. For some reason it just does not like acetate. So then I decided I would just use vellum. And it works just as well. I guess with the acetate you just get a little shine to it, but this is fine. All right. So now I've got every one of them. I'm going to turn it over and make sure I can't see any of them. Just snip a few ends off here. And there we go. All right, now we're going to remove the backings on these. Now, if you don't have these little strips, you can obviously just cut your wider foam tape. You could even use little pop dot squares if you wanted. I love all these colors that I used. Yeah, it's nice that they come in, the inks come in packs of 4. Did that come off? And then it's easy to achieve that look that I wanted. All right, so I'm going to take this, darker to lighter. Yeah, the vellum works really nice. There we go. Isn't that pretty? All right, now I'm going to take this. I'm going to cut a bit off the bottom here. And then that's going to go there. Now this is hanging over here, so I'm going to put a bit of foam tape just on these leaves and the stem at the bottom. Just so that it evens it out. And it becomes the same height as my floating backdrop. So I'm just adding a bit of my tape here. And I'll put some down here. All right. Now on the rest of it, I will just put my regular adhesive. Bring this back. There we go. And then I used, the stamp has 3 different sentiments, 5 different sentiments. And I use this little one down here, You're in Bloom, and there are dies to go with all of the sentiments. Which is a bonus. You're in full bloom. And there we go. And there's our card. I love it. Isn't that pretty? And you can see the depth there. So pretty. Yeah, I love the blues too. It goes perfect with the Bluebonnet Bliss stamp. I think it's a lovely. I should really try using several of them on it instead of just the one. I think that would look very pretty. All right, so what did I use? I used these, the double-stitched elongated ovals. I used the Bluebonnet Bliss dies. I used the Bluebonnet Bliss stencils and Bluebonnet Bliss stamp. All right, so those are all the things that I used to create this. And then I used all the Pinkfresh inks. I used the blues that come in one package for the card, and then for the stencils I used the green for the leaves. All right, so there we go. Now I will be doing a video for Thursday. I will record it though, because Cindy is having a crafty garage sale this weekend on Friday and Saturday. I will post it with the information on the site. So I'm going to be getting ready for that on Thursday. I have a lot of things left over from the store that I'm putting into the garage sale. So I will be busy on Thursday with that, but I will hopefully have a video ready for you and just record it. All right? And I'm going to do one with the butterflies that I did last week with the interference inks. This time I'm going to use regular inks. Okay? All right, so there we go. I hope you try this. I think it just looks lovely. And again, use the inks. It's way easier than trying to find paper that has that ombre look. All right? All right, thanks for joining me. And I will see you on Thursday.